the Browns on Friday said that their legal staff told them they could not or should not reach out to any of Deshaun Watson's accusers because I guess I don't understand why. So I'll give you the floor on that aspect of what we heard from Friday.
Well, the various people who addressed the matter, GM Andrew Berry in the press conference that happened alongside Deshaun Watson and Coach Kevin Stefanski, and then ownership, which zoomed in 2 hours later, and a lot of people believe that they all should have been there facing the music together, that the owners should have been there elbow to elbow with Deshaun Watson at his introduction to Cleveland. The message from Berry and from the Haslams was that the lawyers strongly encouraged them to not talk to these people because it would potentially interfere with the criminal investigation. So they hired an outside investigator who did something to secure sufficient information to allow them to become comfortable with the notion of adding Deshaun Watson, despite these 22 civil cases that were still pending and the grand jury possibilities that obviously have since resolved. The first one was the key to sparking the land rush between four teams to try to get Deshaun Watson, and then there was another one last week that kind of surprised everybody, but it went away almost as quickly as it emerged. And now he has, in theory, a clean bill of health on the criminal side, but he's still got these 22 civil cases. And I don't know whether or not, Rich, they are comfortable that he did nothing wrong. Andrew Berry was asked as the final question on Friday, do you believe there was no wrongdoing? And he didn't answer it. And I think anything other than yes, we believe there was no wrongdoing is quite possibly no. I just don't think I don't want to say they don't care. I just think they're not really all that concerned about tracking down a final answer. They're concerned about what happens going forward. Can we trust him in Cleveland? Are we going to have similar issues here? And are we going to get past this at some point and get to playing football and winning games and everyone's going to forget about it? I think that they didn't necessarily want to track down every last detail. They just want to be comfortable that moving forward, it's not going to be something that they're going to have to deal with in Cleveland as it relates to potential new claims.
But what about the legalese about they shouldn't contact, and look into it? So a team says that they did their due diligence but didn't speak to anybody who says otherwise about Watson makes no sense to me. And there's a legal reason for it?
Well, one thing they could do is read the transcripts of the plaintiffs who have given sworn testimony within the confines of the civil actions. Now, not all of them have done that. So at some point you run out of material if the goal is to find out what every specific person says about Deshaun Watson, and then you have other resources available. Now, again, it all depends on how good the investigators are. You talk to people from the Houston Police Department. You talk to other people in the community. You talk to people who know these individuals who are making these claims against Deshaun Watson. You speak extensively to his team. And lawyer Rusty Hardin has been on record saying he thinks that all of the women are not telling the truth. Now, I don't think he's come out and said it's a conspiracy or whatever, and it's going to be very difficult to hold a conspiracy of 22 individuals together for 1 year plus if it is something like that. But I just think at the end of the day, they made an assessment that he's got an issue in the civil justice system that he has to resolve. He's got an issue with the league that's going to result in a suspension at some point. But after all of that happens, we move forward with a franchise quarterback for at least the next decade, and we're fine making that bet. So that's why I think deep down, Rich, that's why I say they didn't care. And I don't mean that they are uncaring. I mean they just don't care about the details. He's not going to be charged criminally. He's got to work out these civil cases, and the best thing they could do is tell him, just take some of this $230 million and settle the damn cases. They're doing this for the payoff, not for the short term. They understand there's going to be short-term pain. They're dealing with it. I don't know that they properly estimated what they were going to be dealing with, but I think to get down to it, they just really didn't want to turn over every rock and find out everything and make their own judgment. Because if they had determined he had done something wrong, I still think they would have done the deal. They just want to know going forward, can they trust him not to engage in the same behaviors again? Has he learned his lesson? That's the thing that I think that they wanted to know.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.